Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lighting Systems 20 at 10 webinar series, where each and every month on the second Wednesday, we highlight one of our top manufacturers within 20 minutes. I am your host, Eric Lieber. If anyone has any questions during this call, please put those in chat, and I'll be sure to answer each and every one of those by the end of the session. Today's guest is joining us all the way from Atlanta. She is the Product and Business Development Manager of Lifeshield, which is a current lighting company. Deb Zawodny, welcome to the call, and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. We're going to do a quick overview this morning of the Lifeshield brand. It is one of the newest brands for current lighting. And Lifeshield, what is Lifeshield? Sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty there. It's not advancing. There we go. So what is Lifeshield? Lifeshield is a brand that is lighting for complex spaces. And when you have complex spaces, one of the things that's pretty common to have is that you don't have just one application or just one activity happening in a space. For Lifeshield, we are covering the segments of healthcare, clean room, and vandal. And subsets of those would be a patient room, a surgical suite, an MRI, other treatment areas. Also for clean room, we would have food processing, laboratories, and other clean room spaces. And for vandal, we may have behavioral, and we might even also have transit. So what are some of the hybrid applications that you might see? Well, we look at a patient room and we look at a clean room, and when you combine those, you have a quarantine room. So now you have some of the applications that you have to look at, some of the different certifications and listings to make sure that you're covering both of those. Another interesting application, and it's a hybrid, is a zoo. And a zoo would require a vandal-resistant application. It also requires some of the aspects of behavioral. You have animals confined in a space. These are large primates in this case instead of humans. And they are always curious and trying to get into the fixtures and trying to get into the screws, and also using impact when they throw things at the fixtures. So again, it's kind of a hybrid application. If you have large primates in a laboratory, well, now you've got a clean room, you have large primates in the space, and you may also have things that need to be quarantined in that space. So now you've got not only two applications, but you've got three. So when you are, as a specifier, what are you looking for as far as your complex applications? Typically, you know if you want to use a downlight or a trough or whatever it might be. So like most humans, you're going to look for a picture of that fixture and say, well, that looks like what I'm looking for. With a complex environment, the next thing that you're going to do is start looking for the certifications and listings. And so typically most manufacturers are going to put those at the top of the page. Once you find what you need there, if we do comply with what you're looking for, then what you will do is you will go ahead and go to the lumens and all the other options and accessories that are listed. As far as certifications, some of the common ones, IP66 and 65. It's when we're hitting fixtures with water jets from different directions at different velocities. But there are some newer ones that you may not know, or if you haven't worked in complex environments, you may not be familiar with some of the current listings. So IK10 would be for impact. This is the listing that we use for outdoor fixtures, for post-top, direct building mount. So really, this is the most stringent application that you're going to see. And for applications such as behavioral, we may also be using that indoor. So IK10 would be a listing you'd want to look for. IP69K is another listing. It covers IP65 and IP66, so it does maintain its integrity with hitting with water jets from different directions. But it also includes heat and steam and temperature. So its expansion and contraction happens a lot more often in a heat environment. So what we're trying to do is make sure that the integrity of that fixture is held even when it gets hot in that environment. So IP69K is another new one for you. ISO 3, if you're not used to working with clean rooms, ISO ratings maintain the number of particulates that can get into a fixture from the plenum or from the room side. And what we want to make sure is that, number one, they can't get in there, and if they do, that they can't escape to the other side. We don't want any dirt and mold and fungi from the plenum getting into a room, but we also don't want anything contagious getting out of a room. We also look at the MIL standard 461G, and that is for frequency. We have some of the robotic surgical equipment, some very sensitive electronic equipment, and not just in surgical suites, but also in clean rooms. And in this case, we want to make sure that we're not creating any frequency issues there. NSF is for food processing and typically relates to food, but can also relate to organic materials, such as if you have human body tissue or fluids. So it might be for a morgue, it might be for a surgical suite, and there are a lot of different applications for that. There are food and non-food zones, and without getting into all the details of this, there's an awful lot of confusion for this, and it's almost counterintuitive. A non-food zone actually means that you can do food processing in those areas. So what are the key differentiators for Lifeshield? For Lifeshield, we can go ahead and accommodate all the different ceiling types, so grid and hard ceilings, also some of the specialty surgical and clean room ceilings that are out there. Shallow fixtures, 4 inches or less, that seems to be the magic number. Busy plenums up there with air gas equipment, all sorts of tubing and electronics and chain trail, all of those things. And so what we're doing is making sure that we're accommodating those areas. We can do 80 and 90 CRI, making sure that we have good color quality. We can also give you CCT of 2700 to 6500K, more often 5000K, but if you need that, we can give you the 6500. And then also we can give you all of the controls options and also give you compatibility with other popular systems that are out there. We give you quality optics. We try to make sure that we do put those internal to the fixture so that you can use whatever type of lensing you might want to. And when you look at the efficacy of this fixture, the miles per gallon, if you will, we are roughly 15 to 20% higher than our competition in lumens per watt. And as I mentioned, certifications and listings are important. So we have a wide array of the most popular and current listings and certifications across all of our product families. So looking at legacy and new products, currently for the multifunction patient room, we have our Medi mode, which is the second over from the left. That is a 2x2 and 2x4, and we have reading, ambient, and exam functions available for you. And we go up to a high enough lumen package of 16,000 delivered lumens that we can give you the exam light levels on the bed that you would need. We also have 2 wall-mounted units, the Avexia and the Remedy. The Remedy has the higher lumen packages for the higher lumen packages for exams, 75 to 100-foot candles. The Avexia right now is more for a residential or continued care type area. And our newest product is Cloven, the farthest fixture to the left, and that would be our linear pair. These are always used as a pair, and they give you all the same functions as the 2x2 and 2x4 fixture, but we are doing it as a linear pair so that we can bring those really high light levels in from an angle and not blind the patient and come right front forward into their face as they're lying on the bed. And this gives you a real quick visual. For the exam, we're coming in at an angle. For the ambient, we are doing a general distribution. And for our reading, we are also coming in at an angle. For the exam in this fixture, we are always giving you 12,000 delivered lumens, which is more than sufficient to give you that 75 to 100-foot candles on the bed. For the ambient, you can choose 4,000 or 6,000 lumens. And again, all of these numbers I'm quoting to you are per pair. And for reading, it's always 2,000 lumens coming in from both directions, chip on board a directional beam. When you turn this fixture on, you can do all the individual circuits, but if you did need to do something called the high exam, which is something comparable to the light level used for minor surgical procedures, you can turn that on and we can give you 19,000 delivered lumens. So that is going to give you your exam light levels even in a 10 to 11-foot ceiling. Looking at our clean room fixtures, and of course, surgical fixtures should be a clean room fixture, so we're including it here. We have 2x2s, 2x4s, and 1x4s, and we are giving you good, better, best, different price points. You'll hear a lot about ISO, as I mentioned. Typical ISO baseline for you for surgical would typically be an ISO 3, and that's usually going to be the most stringent number that you're going to be asked for. But we also have lower numbers, 5 to 9. We also have 4, and we can actually provide that with some of our flat panels, and we can also provide that with our Versify, which is a more architectural looking fixture. It looks a little bit like a skylight. These fixtures can give you, again, lumen packages suitable for general illumination, and in the case of OBEX, we can go up to those higher lumen packages just under 26,000 delivered lumens in a 2x4. We're giving you the NSF rating, the ISO rating, the IP and the IK ratings. So again, we're trying to give you a full family of fixtures. And we even are giving you a mid-range fixture, ISO 4, kind of between the lower stringency and the surgical, of an ISO 4 in the Columbia CBT, which is a flat panel that is switchable and tunable. Looking at some of the other features of OBEX, we can give you general distribution. We can also give you an asymmetric throw. And if you've worked on surgical suites, typically it's a rectangle or two parallel runs of fixtures that are aiming light at the table so that we don't have shadowing of the surgeon and also of the tasks that are happening there. We are at an efficacy of up to 150 lumens per watt, and as I mentioned, up to 25,000 delivered lumens in a 2x4. We can also give you all of the Kelvin temperatures that I mentioned and also 80 or 90 CRI. We have right now green for the surgical suite and green white. We will also be bringing out in the next month red and red white for eye surgery, yellow or amber, and that would be for the pharmaceutical and anything that has a photosensitivity situation. And we can also give you blue. And here it says security, but we also are providing that more so for medical, and that would be for treatment of jaundice or also some dermatology conditions. And if you're not familiar with all the clean room applications for this, we'll be happy to provide some more information on that for you. Vandal and behavioral. Right now, the products I'm going to talk to you about, we have more than this, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the newer products, which would be the Prevent Linear and Round, and also the new Vandal downlights and behavioral downlights. And of course, OBEX with the thicker lenses, we can also provide this as a behavioral and a Vandal product. Also available to you is a wall or surface mount fixture, which is called Wall 3. And then the Nightway product, which is a die-cast aluminum step light or night light, which you would see in a patient room. That one is also a behavioral type product. And again, the Versify, we are also converting that into a behavioral product as well. And we are also coming up with versions and kits that can convert some of the commercial architectural products. And soon to come is a linear Vandal product. So if you've never heard of the New York State Office of Mental Health listings, there is not a national certification with UL or IES or any of those other folks that actually calls out what is suitable for behavioral and what is not. But the state of New York has been doing their own protocol for such a long time that people have begun to use their listings, which are online, and have begun to use those as a reference point in a basis of design. And again, we can provide those links to you, but you can go online and you can actually look and see what fixtures have been tested and what applications they are suitable for. And of course, we have current fixtures there. Prevent Linear and Round. This is actually a die-cast aluminum product. We have a linear product and also a round. We do 1, 2, 3, and 4 foot lengths in the linear product. We can do decorative banding on this product. And in the 4 footer, we can do up to just under 13,000 delivered lumens. This is suitable for indoor and outdoor and also direct building mount. The rounds, we have two sizes, 13-inch and 17-inch. And the 13-inch goes up to 4,400 lumens. The 17-inch goes up to 7,700 lumens. So you're getting a good replacement roughly for a 2x2 and a 2x4 with those rounds, in addition to the nice architectural look of the product. We can also give you microwave sensors behind the lens in this product and also other Vandal products that we have. The battery backup can go into the fixture. And with regard to New York State, we are also submitting the round fixture for the state of New York. SpectraSync tunable white 2700 to 6500K is available, and also static colors of red, blue, amber, and green. And this also has a 3G rating, which you may or may not be familiar with. Vibration rating, again, what we would use on outdoor fixtures, post-mount fixtures, and suitable for also transit stations. This is just a quick view of some of the configurations you can do with Prevent Linear and Prevent Round. Right now with the linear, you can do joiners that will give you X's, L's, T's, whatever it might be. And then we can also do decorative banding on the 1 footers, 2 footers, up to the 4 footers, and give you a building mounted wall sconce. The newest member of our family are the complex environment downlights, and the complex environment downlights are suitable for surgical, MRI, and scanning, Vandal and Behavioral, and also clean room and food processing. If you know our brand Lightistry, which falls under Prescolite downlighting, it's our architectural downlighting brand. And that product, if you're familiar with it, then you would understand 80% of this product. The reason being that we chose to take the architectural brand and convert that into a complex environment product as well. So with this, you're getting all the benefits with an architectural product that you might not see for complex environments. So we have 5 distributions, very narrow to extra wide. We have a single wall wash. We also have 4 and 6-inch apertures, round and square. And these are die-cast aluminum, marine grade aluminum bezels. We can do vandal resistant hardware. We can do antimicrobial paint if you require that. And again, we're trying to give you all the benefits of the architectural product with that extra complex environment certifications listed to it. With this, you can use you can do the architectural products in all the adjoining areas. We have 13 different colors and finishes for the reflectors. And again, you have all the different distributions. So you can use the downlight product across the entire space and then just use the complex environment versions where you need it. We can go up to 4,000 delivered lumens on these products, whether it's 4-inch or 6-inch. And when we get into the MRI, we can also provide some 6,000 lumen packages in those products as well. And again, certifications and listings. We've made sure that we've applied these to all these products. And there are some limitations a little bit on the MRI product because of the nature of how it's made and where it's going to be. But for surgical, vandal, and clean room, we can provide the impact, the IK10. We can give you the NSF ratings. We can give you the clean room ratings. And again, most of the applications here would also give you most of the standard options, features, and benefits. We also give you the quiet ceiling. The quiet ceiling means that when you walk into a room, you don't see flash at the ceiling. And you have to walk within 50 degrees of the product before you can even see any reflectance or any brightness within the reflector. This means that the light goes on the task and is not glary and distracting up at the ceiling plane. In a bright surgical suite, it may not matter. In a bright clean room, it may not matter. But when you turn the lights down in a surgical suite and you've got someone off in the corner doing a task and you've got a narrow beam, you don't want to distract the surgeons. You just want to put the light where it belongs. With this, you can also get in between a lot of complex types of equipment and a lot of types of electronics, and all the beam spreads you have allows you to light that situation very well. We have 2-step macadam ellipse binning. That is quality lighting that you would see in a retail application, but very, very important also for diagnostics and also for a lot of clean room applications. And if you need TM30 data, we can also provide that to you. On our spec sheets, we also have for you, we call out in the shaded areas, we show you what is in stock and what we have and what's readily available in our 10-day quick ship. Quite often people will be closing in ceilings and they'll realize somebody didn't order the lights. So in this instance, you can actually pull a lot of things out of stock that you can use for these complex applications. What you can also do is if someone accidentally installs fixtures into a location and they realize it was a public space and maybe it should have been a vandal resistant, you can also convert the fixture after the fact. The surgical suite, we do have that mill standard 461G for frequency. And then we also have the IEC rating added in here for close proximity to medical equipment. And again, on all of these downlights and all the other products I've shown you, 1% dimming, dim to off if you need that. And again, compatibility with controls and even some of the competitors' control systems. For the MRI and scanning, this is all non-ferromagnetic construction. We don't want to inhibit any activity of that giant MRI magnet. So it's all made out of aluminum, stainless steel, and other non-ferromagnetic material. For this, we do a probe test on the product before it goes out. We touch all the points where there could be a mistake, which is usually screws or clips or springs. And we check all of those fixtures before they head out of the building. Again, all the same beam spreads, all of the same aperture information. The difference here is you don't have the bezel on this product. It is a self-flanged trim, which you can paint to be black or white if you choose. And if you wanted an ISO-rated MRI fixture, I could put a trim base on that if you would like. The other thing that we give you on this product is we give you the remote driver enclosure. And the remote driver enclosure, we mount all the drivers into that enclosure. It does have a cover, and then we ship that out to you so that the contractor can install that in the space. We also have this handy dandy MRI exit sign. This is our Obsidian, and sometimes it's hard to tell if the room is in use or not, even with X-ray or other types of rooms. And with this, when you turn this exit sign off, it's completely blackface. When you turn it back on, then you have the signage illuminated from behind, and it's red or green. On our downlight page, landing page, we have a neat feature here. You can go into the page and you can look through the certifications here, find the certifications that you want, find the application that you want, click on that, and then what it's going to do is it's going to give you, you're going to hover, it's going to illuminate that, and then you click on the exact one that you want, and it's going to take you right to the spec sheet.
Very good. Thank you for an informative presentation. We're trying to keep this right at 20 minutes. Appreciate our guest, Deb, coming on with talking about Lifeshield. Just as a note, Deb will be coming from Atlanta out to the San Francisco Bay Area next month. So if anybody would like to meet with Deb in person, if you have a current or upcoming project you want to talk about in more detail, please reach out to your lighting systems representative and book an in-person appointment. With that, we're going to go to our questions and answers section just very quickly. Again, this is a 20-minute call. Anybody who would like to hop off, feel free to do so. Those who wish to stay, we'll go through the questions and answers and move forward from there. First question, is it possible to get the prevent shapes, the X and T, etc., with continuous lit lenses or only with the unlit joiners?
At this time, it's only unlit joiners. In other versions of the product that we have, we are looking at doing continuous run lens.
Very good. The next question was, can you give more detail about ISO ratings? What is an ISO rating? And I think they're trying to understand a little bit better in the different variances between one ISO and the other.
Sure. Typically what you'll see is, to give you a baseline, again, a surgical fixture usually is an ISO 3. There are some categories that are more stringent than that, but you typically won't see those for lighting. But for this, again, surgical suite, very clean environment. And then the higher the number, the less stringent it becomes. Quite often you will see flat panels that will have ratings from 5 to 9, and again, much less stringent ratings. But what they're trying to do is make sure that the fixture is a barrier between the plenum and the room, and that nothing in the room can get into the fixture and migrate into the plenum, especially dangerous gases or chemicals. And then we don't want any dirt, mold, or fungi to get into the fixture and then migrate into a clean space. So this is just, we're trying to force material. Usually it's particulates. We try to force particulates of different sizes, sometimes microns, and determine if that fixture truly is sealed.
Interesting. Great. Thank you for answering that. We don't have any other questions at this time, so I want to thank everybody for attending today. If you enjoyed this webinar, please come back again. We're doing it every second Wednesday at 10 o'clock, where we highlight one of our top manufacturers within 20 minutes. As a side note, at Lighting Systems, we're having our Light Libations event, where we're going to have 14 of our top manufacturers up in Sacramento. It's going to start at 5 o'clock. If you haven't received an invite, please send me a chat, and I'll be sure that you get the link. It's a great time to come out and have some refreshments, and also meet some of your industry partners. And then tomorrow night, we're going to have the exact same event up in Reno. So for our Nevada partners, please come out and participate as a part of that too as well. Our next event is going to be a part of the Lumini Steno series, product series. And if you would like to meet Deb again, please send out contact to your lighting systems representative, and we'll be sure to book an appointment. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.